Welcome back to the Clay Free Show.
All right, so I saw somebody tweet this article. Bernie Sanders has a $150 billion plan to turn the internet into a public utility with low prices and fast speeds. Here's how his plan works. So if you don't know, little rundown real quick. We pay almost the most out of any developed country for our internet. Yet it is some of the slowest internet in the whole world. So there's some third world countries that actually have faster internet than America, believe it or not. So really interesting stuff, and it's all because it's very privatized and it's broken up, and it's almost a monopoly. There's only like 3 parent companies that control all of the internet in the United States, so they can pretty much price gouge you for very low services, or for low services, and very outrageous fees for very basic stuff like internet. So, Senator Bernie Sanders, a Democratic presidential candidate, last month unveiled a sweeping $150 billion proposal. That's actually not that much. That would fundamentally reshape how the internet works in the United States. Awesome. I'm behind that 100%. The plan, dubbed, quote, high-speed internet for all, would effectively turn the internet into a public utility along the lines of water and power. High-speed internet services must be treated as the new electricity, the proposal says. A public utility that everyone deserves as a basic human right. And I think if we're going to evolve as a society, and if we really want to create more jobs and, expand our country economically, eventually internet has got to become a human right. So that's just how I feel. But on with the plan. To the end, the $150 billion plan would go to creating publicly owned and democratically controlled cooperative or open access broadband networks, the proposal says. Here's how it works. Requiring internet service providers like Verizon and Comcast to offer a, quote, a basic internet plan that provides quality broadband speeds at an affordable price. Absolutely. So the government has, for too long, I think, let broadband companies and internet service providers like Verizon, like AT&T, like Comcast step all over them. And unfortunately, because we have a system like that, they're able to price gouge people, like I just said, and pretty much control the market while only providing a very low quality product, honestly. The core of Sanders' high-speed internet plan is to provide internet for everyone in an affordable way. Its primary method of doing that, regulations from the Federal Communications Commission. The FCC will review prices and regulate rates where necessary, ensuring areas without competition aren't able to run up prices. Yes, 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 yes. I'm all for this plan. This is awesome. This is just an amazing plan. The plan says we'll also require providers to offer a basic plan for a regulated rate to all customers, ensuring everyone will be able to affordably connect to the internet. Yes, yes, yes. I'd go even farther. I'd make sure that there is a basic internet plan that is completely free. Because right now, especially in our society, you're seeing if you don't have high-speed quality internet, you are put at a severe disadvantage when it comes to jobs, when it comes to education, all of these things. You're at a severe disadvantage. So I would go as far as to say that this basic plan, the government regulates that, and they say, you know what, we're going to have our own, free plan, and then eventually, of course, that would encourage, broadband providers to lower their prices and be able to. We could negotiate prices via the government, but let's just see where this plan's going. We also basic plan regulate customers, ensuring everyone will be able to affordably connect to the internet. Just read that. The providers in question are massive media conglomerates like Verizon, Comcast, and Charter. Bernie will regulate these providers like a utility. Awesome! I love this. Oh, I love it so much. The idea that we democratically can control these markets. They're not taking advantage of us anymore. That's so awesome. The proposal includes further subsidies for people who qualify for the government assistance programs like SNAP, Medicaid, and temporary assistance for needy families, and it proposes free broadband in all public housing. So it does go pretty far. Free broadband in all public housing. I'd love to see what the speeds for that free broadband would be. Hopefully, it's not it's not terrible internet. Right here. We're getting ready to get to that. Redefining minimum broadband speeds so that a 100 megabytes per second download speed and a 10 megabyte per second download upload speed is the floor. That's amazing. So right now, I don't even think I think I'm getting like 116, but we're paying an outrageous price. And it's essentially what my family had to do was there was one internet provider that was giving us like something bad, like 25 megabits per second download speed. Awful, right? And then there was Spectrum, and they had this other plan that was 100, and there was super cheap but awful quality, right? And then there was really, really expensive. There was no in between because they don't allow for, when they redraw these district lines, these companies they get control of these areas, and it's essentially a monopoly because people really don't have the choice. It's really an illusion when it comes to internet providers. Excuse me. The 5 fastest and slowest states for internet. Let's see. Number 1, Alaska with 17 megabits per second. Wow, that's really slow. That's really sad. Let's see. Who is the fastest? Maryland with only 65. I mean, I guess these are average numbers. Maryland only has 65 megabits per second. Wow, that's crazy. So, this would redefine minimum broadband speeds so that a 100 megabits per second download speed is the floor. So you're going to see a drastic increase in internet speeds through the country because nobody's even at 100 average. But because that's the floor, you're going to see everybody's internet speed goes up. And I think it'll be great for the country. Calling for high-speed broadband doesn't mean much if your definition of fast internet is stuck in the past. The current FCC minimum to be considered broadband is 25 megabits per second down, 3 megabits per second up. It works and it gets the job done well enough, but it's a slouch compared with many other parts of the world. Under Sanders' proposal, the FCC would increase its minimum to 100 megabits per second, down 10 megabits per second upload. It's a little detail that makes a big difference in the broader plan as it guarantees a base internet speed. Awesome. Breaking up companies that offer internet service and provide content like Comcast and AT&T. Amazing. This is a perfect proposal. He's thought of everything. He really does think of everything, and man, I love this. I love Bernie so much. Over the past several decades, the telecommunications industry has consolidated into a few major players who provide internet access, and those companies have in turn merged with major media companies. The resulting giants will sell you the internet and cable services you use and provide the content that runs on those services. Under Sanders' proposal, these conglomerates would be broken apart. Awesome. The proposal says Sanders would use existing antitrust authority rather than the FCC to dismantle internet service provider and cable monopolies. Moreover, he would, quote, bar service providers from also providing content. Comcast, which owns NBC, and AT&T, which owns Warner Media, HBO, Turner, Warner Bros., would like to unwind those purchases. So, providing $150 billion to create publicly owned and democratically controlled cooperative or open access broadband networks. Awesome. This will create so many jobs too. While it enforces regulations on major internet service providers, the proposal includes a major expenditure, $150 billion, to create necessary, resilient, moderate infrastructure for high-speed broadband that is widely available and affordable. The money, part of the broader Green New Deal initiative, is intended for municipalities or states to build publicly owned and democratically controlled cooperative, goodness, I can't speak, or open access broadband networks, the proposal says. One major condition is included. Grants from the funding must go toward creating good-paying union jobs. Oh, this plan is so great. And come with rigorous standards. 5. Ending data caps and speed throttling. So another notable detail in the proposal is putting an end to data caps and speed throttling. That's amazing. Everything is thought of. As people stream more content and download larger and higher definition movies, TV shows, and games, they use more data. Just as the amount has increased, some internet service providers have begun placing caps on users. 200 gigabytes per month, for example. If you go over your cap, there's a chance you'll get slapped with a charge. In some cases, your provider may even throttle your service speed in an attempt to dissuade you from using it. The proposal from the Sanders campaign explicitly calls for the elimination of both practices. See, this is something that a lot of people don't even know about. Your internet service provider can actually charge you more if you go over a data limit that people don't even know that they have, right? Because they think, oh, I pay for internet, I get unlimited internet. That makes sense, right? Well, actually, no. They can actually slow your speed down. And this is something that when I was a kid, I would notice, sometimes the internet would feel really, really slow at certain times. And I'd be like, the internet was great a couple weeks ago. So I'm assuming that this is because of internet service providers throttling your service speeds. So that's insane. I've also got a little, conspiracy theory of my own that over time, internet service providers actually slow your speed down throughout your plan of service. So say you got your internet like a year ago. A year later or 2 years later, I think you'll be able to see a drastic decrease in your download speeds, your upload speeds, everything like that, because they're trying to incentivize you to go out and buy another package that's bigger because you feel like your internet's not fast enough or it's not as fast as it used to be, and it actually might be the case. So I don't know. I believe Bernie Sanders is going to actually come in and do something about these greedy monopolies that are taking control of our internet and it's very undemocratic. And he's going to come in and bust up these big companies, and I cannot wait to see it. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. My name's Clay. I'm out. Peace.